Wellness. Welcome to my channel. My name is Rashida Silvertree, and today's topic, I want to talk about digital addiction. I've been wanting to talk about this for a really long time. I just haven't really had the words or the thought process yet to make it make sense. I call this the rise of technocracy, given how much technological advancements have affected us on as a collective globally. But there was someone made a comment in one of my previous videos about the rise of para relationships or one-sided relationships. And so today's topic primarily deals with are para relationships that are formed online helpful or harmful for our human evolution? And we grow up, or no, I should say we are programmed to believe that all relationships must have a give or take. It's an expectation in society and cultures around the world. And most places around the world are very imbalanced, right? Especially when it comes to, let's say, marriages. Okay, marriages are a perfect example of this give and take thing. You want to get with someone. In one paradigm, they teach you that 50-50. Like, you bring 50 and the other person brings 50. And I don't think that's very healthy at all. I think you should be 100 and the other person should bring 100. You bring those 100s together, okay? And then you got something. I don't think you should ever just give half of yourself to another person regarding marriage. And also, even though you bring 100, the other person brings their 100, and it makes that like that power couple duo, whatever, I would say you then must be flexible and adaptable enough to where that person can only bring 20%, or you can only bring 10%, or that person can only bring 70% in one season and cycle of a marriage, right? You're only bringing 40%, like 30%. We have to be adaptable and flexible in this digital age. It's interesting because you'll have people who, like myself, start a digital platform, a social digital platform, right? And I guess I do this because it's my way to create rather than consume, be on the other end of the on the other side of the camera where I'm just watching, and consume all this information. I want to create. I want to take what I've experienced, what I know, what's in my heart, what's in my being, what's in my spirit. I want to share that. Not everything, but I want to share that with people. And there are people like myself who are like that, right? And some of them are incredibly successful. Some of them are, only have 2 or 3 subscribers, but that's besides the point. The issue I feel like that's bubbling up is that you have people who are like 100% or 95% invested in a content creator or someone in the digital world, right? And then you have the person, the creator, the content creator, or the person on the other end, right, that's delivering the message or delivering a product or delivering something to the masses, but they're only giving 5% of themselves. And I see this even with your comments below. Like I notice, some of you are very transparent and open and beautiful and sincere and genuine in your responses. And I truly thank you for that. That's that human element, right? And why would I put this topic under digital addiction? Because we are all digital addicts. You have to, honesty. You have to practice self-honesty. On this platform, it's all about self-honesty, and that's one thing I am honest about. If you have a smartphone, you use digital products, you have Wi-Fi in your house or internet connection, you use the Google Watch, even if you don't have social media, I'm so sorry, but you're part of the problem. Okay, we're all in this together. Okay, I've met rare individuals who don't even own a cell phone or nothing. Okay, and they truly do live off the grid. Okay, they don't even have running water. I have met those individuals. Yes, they're in the United States, and they're living and thriving. Okay, not in our sense of the word, but they're living. Okay, they're human. They're having a human experience. So when it comes to para relationships, I think in ways that it's helpful, it's I think the dynamic is a beauty. I'm gonna look at the pros first. It's beautiful in a way when you're creating content that is uplifting other people, inspiring other people, that is validating other people's human experiences. Yes, I said validation. I know sometimes in this spirit community or spiritual whatever, conscious community, it can be validation. They're seeking validation. If you're online in some way or form, you're validating someone or you're being validated. So, that's how I look at it. I don't look at it as a bad thing anymore. But it's very, very helpful to share a personal experience to the masses that can help uplift other people. I made a video on loneliness. Loneliness is it's a deadly thing. It's a very quiet epidemic, right? And we all felt some form of it, especially during the global lockdown, shutdown, and so that's why it's so important that I'm very intentional behind my messages and what I'm sharing with you all, because it's going to affect you in some way, right? How it can be harmful is if you over idealize someone's message, when they become God to you, when you're tuning in to every little thing, and you're not tuning or checking in with you. When you vicariously live through someone who's sharing just a small percentage of their reality with you, and you take that as the word of God, right? That's very harmful. Or if a content creator unfortunately makes harmful content. Harmful content to me is content that is degrading, breaking down something in a negative way, over analyzing, over criticizing, just really it's divisive type of stuff. And I am not going to sit here and name off all the popular ones that are doing this. That's pointless. You all know. We all have the access to look up things and examples of what I'm talking about. So there's no need for me to list off any names. But, how does this affect our human evolution? Ooh. Excuse me. How does this affect our human evolution? When you, let's say, I know one she's very well known, and I'm not going to name her, okay? But she lives not in the States, but she, I think, has over 5 million subscribers in the digital virtual world, okay, who support her channel and platform. And over the years that I've been subscribed to her channel, I've seen her growth. I've seen some of her ups and downs and whatnot, whatever she's willing to share, right? We only know so much about a person because they only tell us what they want us to know. You must understand this. And so anyway, and it's like the type of, where was I going with that point? Yeah, she's like 5 million subscribers, and it's like she she creates a space of inspiration, and she creates a portal, because these are portals on a metaphysical level. These devices, this is a portal. Okay, in the digital world, we're creating our own spiritual grid, but it's just a digital one. But anyway, so back to this individual. But I find her working inspiring because she's human, right? And I find that she has a great balance with, not oversharing so much of her life, but sharing enough of it to where people are reminded of the beauty of what it is to be human, what it is to be a creative person, artistic, what it is to just be. And so that's the type of, I'm inspired by that type of work, and I'm inspired by simplicity as well. But as far as our human evolution goes, you know what I think? I really think these para relationships formed in the digital world, it's just reflecting back to us what and how we are in the real world. Aren't we already living and having para relationships constantly? When I mentioned before, like how marriages it's an ebb and flow of someone always giving a certain percent. No one's always going to give 100%. No one's always going to give 10%. Side note, if you're in a partnership and you're only getting 10% from a person, get out. That's toxic. Don't do that to yourself. Or you're in a relationship, get out, or a friendship, get out of that friendship. Okay? It should be, each connection that we have with a human being should be this beautiful ebb and flow. And we are just like this beautiful dance of reminding each other that we have to keep, it's almost like hot potato. We have to keep passing the potato. Don't harbor the potato because another person can't eat, okay? And don't keep throwing the potato at somebody, and let them do all the heavy burden of having to carry the hot potato. You have to share the load. You have to allow the ebb and flow and the energy in the partnerships to just be. Now, in the digital sense, that's more of a challenge. It's definitely more of a challenge for sure. Because, I think it's a social experiment. We don't really know, actually. Oh, I know another way why and how this could be harmful, though. If you put more emphasis on people, like building relationships with people online that you'll never meet, but you're constantly tuning into their energy field, yes, you are. You're tuning into their thoughts, you're tuning into their feelings, you're tuning into their state of being, you're tuning into their values and their principles, or lack thereof. And that's what you slowly become. Whatever you consume consumes you, okay? But it becomes harmful if you don't take or put any initiative into community. I mentioned in one of my other videos about how being of service or being part of a community or building your relationships. And by golly, guys, I love all of you who've subscribed. I will continue to put up the content because you guys are engaging and you're letting me know that you like what I'm putting out. So I will continue to do that. But I'm engaging with my community outside of the digital world. Again, balance, right? It's all about balance. I used to think during my farming days, during the global shutdown, and I was working on homesteads, I used to think I could just live like that forever, right? That I was just, that's my calling and that's what I want to do. And, but there's something very useful and very powerful to be able to reach people with a message. You can reach more people with a message much faster and quicker than you would living off grid and only, being in the circumference of what, like 5,000 people in a small town, which I've lived in before, you know? So that's all. Just food for the heart, food for the mind. And I definitely will be making more videos on digital addiction because it's an addiction that society has accepted and we have no idea where it's taking us. Usually with drugs, it takes you to death and poverty and you lose everything. But the digital addiction is something very different. It's something very different, and I think it affects us on a conscious level, on a spiritual level, on a metaphysical level, and a financial level. It's changed the world. And so this digital age is part of the age of Aquarius, which I'm not all into astrology, but there's a little truth in everything. But age of Aquarius is the sign that represents knowledge, wisdom, information. And we live in the age of information, oversharing of information. See you next time. Bye.